Hi everybody, welcome back. So today I'm gonna do a little bit different, and I normally do not do one video for just one particular game, but this is going to be like one of the different occasion where I talk about one single game here on Kickstarter, and it's also much more rare I talk about to back or not to back one particular game, and much less even not to back a certain game. But well, in short, if you're going to just skip away from this video, then at least just get this tagline: don't back Slay the Spire, the board game. Okay, before I go into what is Slay the Spire, the board game, let me just bring your attention to the PC game. Okay, so this is based on the PC game. Okay, and this is Slay the Spire. Okay, as you can see, it's kind of a card game where you play cards. You defeat enemies, you fight enemies, you build up your characters. You get stronger cards, and you go in a hierarchy up. You eventually take out the boss. You get fantastic cards, you get upgrades, you get stuff like that. So pretty much what the deck builder is. It's like Dominion and things like that. And what exactly is am I talking about in this board game thing? Okay, so back to the board game. So before I even go further, let me just do a little bit of rambling. As one of the problem is Slay the Spire, the board game, is actually a board game about a video game that's about a card game. So basically it's a card deck builder, but it's a video game, and now we have the board game. Are you seeing this trend that's been going on? It's every single video game has to be made into a board game, and and we are seeing more and more of that happening. Like the Last of Us, and even Elder Ring is coming. It doesn't work all the time. Some of them are pretty bad, and they have no relationship to the IP whatsoever. But some of them could turn out to be good. So I don't know. I played this War of Mine. I think that's a good game. Whether is it a board game or is it just video game on its own. But I had a board game first before I had the video game. So it's actually I find that the board game is pretty good. But also it's I want to talk about the whole this trend of making board games based on video games is really getting on my nerve in a way, if you put it that way, because I think it's not a very healthy thing in the industry. It seems like our board games really running out of steam and running out of juice of creativity, and they have to just slap it with converting some video games into a board game, or slapping it by converting a movie into the board game, like The Walking Dead kind of thing. That's why when Ryan Lockett rolls out a new game, I'm usually very excited because it's something new. I've not seen it before. It's not based on anything, but it's based on a new creation, and that brings new substance, new content, and it's fresh to the scene. So I'm usually very excited about games from Red Raven. But this is a very unhealthy trend going on into the board game. And very much similar to how in the movie industry they are doing remaster or redoing certain old classic. And we're also seeing this in board game. Board games is when you have Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 2 and so on. And they still could do Resident Evil 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever, it's and if Street Fighter seems to be successful, go all the way back to Street Fighter Championship Edition, you can start all the way from there. But the thing is that this is not very healthy, because I think it's not creativity. It's more like trying to fit a system into something that already exists, and then you're just banging on the hope that people like whatever original IP that is, and then you're making money out of it, milking the franchise. Yeah, so basically that's not the first thing I go to in board game. I want something fresh, something new, but there are certain things that actually works very well, like Battlestar Galactica and all this. But I'm raising some example on the positive side as well. So sometimes it works, and I don't blame them. Sometimes it works, but not all the time. And we are seeing more and more of this, which is not really very healthy. But Slay the Spire is one of them that actually is a card game to start with. So it's very easy to convert this into a board game. And well, there we have it. Raising almost maybe close to 3.5 million US dollars. We have about 20,000 backers, close to 21,000 soon. I think we have about a week to go. So before I even talk about the game itself, let's talk a little bit about things that are a little bit of concern. So we have contention games. So contention games, if you see their records, they only have like 2 games that they have ever created. So the other game which they created is this game called Imperium the Contention, which I think is where they got their name from. And wow, actually it looks pretty good. I think I'm more interested in this than the Spire because I kind of like the artwork. Okay, but anyway, this was funded. Let me see how much it is. It's about 26,000. I don't know which currency that is. Maybe it's US dollars. And about 496 backers. So it's like about 500 people. About let's give it rounding up about 30k. But that is like it's not a very big project in comparison to what we're looking here. We're looking at handling $3 million, not 30k. And we're talking about not 500 people, we're talking about 21,000. Okay, 20,000 now, but I'm sure you will hit 21,000 by the time this ends. So that's a very big project for a new company, and this is their second project, and this is going to be their first major project to deliver. So it will be very unfair to say that I don't have concern about this, because a lot of things could go wrong. Things with logistics, things with shipping, things with management of the fund, things with how the funds are being put into managing such a big project. And I also don't blame companies, because every company has to start with their first project or second project, and you build it up gradually sometimes. But in this case, this is a big jump. It's kind of a red flag for me, because I'm kind of worried that a lot of things could go wrong. So I don't know, but this is like number one. And number two, let's go into the pledge. So we have something that doesn't give you anything. That's $1, okay. And we also have $100, which is actually the base pledge. You will get the the core game. You will get the claw pack, which actually is like the small expansion, and the stretch goals. Okay, so the next pledge is 145. I'll talk about the components a bit later, but the next pledge is 145, which has a little bit more. It's called a collector pledge, and that's not even the end of it. We have all in at 210 US dollars. So that's a lot of money I'm talking about. Okay, so bear in mind, this is a card game in general. There's almost no miniatures, almost, but they want to prove me wrong, because there's actually 4 miniatures here, as you can see. But there are 4 miniatures. Yes. So it's all Kickstarter have the miniatures. I don't know why, but from what I heard from other people, this is totally unnecessary. You could just have 4 cubes of different colors, and it doesn't do anything different. So what do we have? We have all the components listed here. As you can see, play maps, boss cards, more cards, and a lot of cards and some tokens. And did they show the miniatures here? Oh, maybe you don't get the miniatures in the the basic pledge. I don't know, but it's like oh yeah, you do. They just hide it on the board. So this is not very clever of them. They should if they want to talk about the miniatures, they should just highlight it. But anyway, you get all this as the base pledge. And collector pledge, you get now they show the miniatures more distinct. I'm just not sure if the miniatures actually here, or it was a misprint. Well, anyway, if you're backing it, you better go and check it out. But they do show that it's here, but they say it comes with this, which I presume is all the base game component. So it should be, I guess, my mistake. It should come with miniatures. Okay, no confusion there. All miniatures, all pledges. Okay, but it also comes with additional stuff. And how much you're paying more for this? You're paying another 45 US dollars for this, for playmats, for meta coins, and a bigger box. So that's 45 US dollars for it. You ask me whether I would do that, I would say no, because these are non-game essential. And I'm not sure what it does, because the playmat is very simple. It doesn't even have a lot of distinct symbols, or like help text, or dividers or something like that for you to place cards and stuff. So some game really need a playmat, because it's so complex. There's so many decks involved, and then you want to know where each deck goes and everything. But this doesn't seem to be the case because this looks like a rather simple game. If you play the PC game, you'll know that it's not that complex. And the last thing I need is like meta coin, which I have it for almost every other single game. But there's still one more pledge, which contains everything there, okay, including the miniatures. Okay, my mistake. It comes in miniatures. And then the bigger box, the playmaps. You get another playmap, which is like, this better be big because I know let me see if they listed how big this is. Okay, so it's about 107 by 87, which is it's a relatively big size for almost covering the whole table. So in the first place, you have to check if your table can accommodate this map. If you can't, no point getting it. But it does come with a sling bag, which is good. And they should come with a sling bag for all these maps because it's crazy to keep this map without a sling bag unless they already designed that the big box keep everything in, which I don't know. And this contains beta art, so usually you get some beta arts in some of the games, in art books and stuff like that. So fair enough. And then it's like how many of it, this just like and how much does this cost? This costs you another $100. So it's 145 to not $100, maybe 145 to 210. My math suddenly fails me now. It's about $65, I think. Yep, for this. And definitely I would advise no. Non-game essential. You might not even have a table big enough for this. And the beta art, I mean, if it's not game breaking or like game essential, it's probably not worth that, $65. So we have like all the heroes, and then we have the add-ons, which is like the stuff. So you can actually even get them individually if you don't want to like have it bundled. And my god, this playmat is $50, which, well, actually it could be. It depends how thick it is. Most of my playmat are 5mm thick. So if this 5mm thick, it's about $50. Fair enough. Just that it doesn't have any dividers, anything. So you could just use any other playmat. It doesn't difference. And it comes with a sleeve and stuff. Yes, I think it doesn't come with. Sorry, you can buy the sleeve at additional cost. And there are daily unlocks. Unlocking more cards, obviously, which they really plan all the way. Anyway, you're supposed to get the cards. And they have a lot of reviews, by popular people from Alex. I think, who else? So I don't really remember know some of these. Oh yeah, there is Becca Scott. It's like, everybody should know her. And it's like even Crackalope. So usually when there's board game code, there's Crackalope. So I'm not surprised. But so anyway, there are some reviews and there are some playthroughs. And then the second thing is shipping. So like, shipping usually is another thing for me that I'm very, very concerned with, and I'm very, very worried about because I know it's like shipping had hurt me once before from a company I started to see, and it's like after that I look at shipping every time before I pack anything. And this is like the first thing that I want to look at is like how much does it cost to ship to the rest of Asia, which is like at the base game it's about $28 for $100 a game, which is about 25%. I mean, it sounds fair enough, but it's a card game. There's only 4 miniatures. So how heavy do you expect this game to be? It's not. Okay, it's not going to be a 7 kilo or 10 kilo box. Like that Simon game comes with, and and even that costs like $99, which I think, yeah, it's expensive. But it's like I know that it's very big. But we are in Asia. We are kind of like almost paying one of the highest tier. Also comparing to the rest of the world. And I mean, good for you guys in Europe, in US, you get it pretty cheap, so you might just want to go ahead with this. And that's about it to the end of this campaign. So going back all the way to the front, I'm going to talk a little bit about why I make this video. I normally don't make a video about don't back anything, but it's because some of my friends are pretty interested in this game. I think they are intending to back this, and also some people in my board game groups is very interested in this game. So I just want to lay out some of this to the cost and everything, and then just want to convince them. Okay, maybe I'm not to convince them, but at least I lay out the points. Take my points into account. Think about it. If you still think that this is what you want, go ahead and do it. I could be wrong. Yeah, there's a lot of time that I'm wrong. I say wrong things and stuff like that. But I'm just human. But I'm just trying to lay out my point that it's $100 game, and usually for me, I will not back more than $60 for a card game, and that's why I didn't buy the Shadow or Q4 and so on, because that's a very, very good game. I played it, I enjoyed it. The artwork is very nice, but it's a bit pricey for me compared to as a card game. Okay. Okay, so this one, I know you want to argue with me that there's 4 miniatures there. Okay, so there's 4 miniatures and card game, $100. And it's like, if you really enjoy the original game on the PC, which is actually is like here, okay, I'm gonna just like bring you to this this PC page on not PC page, it's a Steam page. So Steam's having a sale now on 66% off, which close to about $5 or $6. And if you really want to go, just pay another $1 to $2 more for the soundtrack. And that's about it. I mean, you can buy bundles with any other game, but that's like a totally different story. But I'm trying to say that you're paying less than $10 here, which is like 10% of what you're paying there, and you get the original classic PC game. If you enjoy the PC game and you haven't had the PC game, go ahead and buy this, and then save yourself $90, which you can back other Kickstarters. That's one of my advice I could give you. I mean, it's a good save of money because the card game essentially plays very similar to the digital game. Not a lot of new things. I think the boss slightly different, and there's some slightly different mechanism. And there's not competitive. There's a co-op play, which I heard does make the games very easy, which I think it can be a good point, can be a bad point, because I mean, I don't mind co-op play, but if co-op play makes the game too easy, it's a totally different story. And to that, if you're going to spend like $10 on this, you could actually spend your remaining $90 on other things. Seriously, there are a lot of other things you could spend your remaining $90 on, which I'm going to talk a little bit about. If you're going to still spend that $100 anyway, So these are some of the projects I backed. I backed pretty lot of projects recently, and I'm not even going to talk about all over the place. I'm just going to talk about the projects that I backed. So Oceans, all in fact, including the first expansion and second expansion, acrylic fishes, foiled cards, $85 for everything. Okay, that's like below $9. You can get this and the digital game. I'm not even comparing hidden leaders and role players, because those I either get the expansion only or the pre and play in this case, so not counted. Oak Swan has ended, but it's like, if you compare, if the Pledge Manager opens, pay another $25 more, you get a 9.3 on BGG game, and which most people sing praises for. And this can't go wrong. I cannot advise you that not to get this game if you want to, because I think it's a good game. And a lot of people say it's a good game. It's a boss battler, same, fight big boss. But this jumps right straight into the action. And there's some miniatures. If you go for 125, there's going to be some miniatures, but definitely more than 4. And then it's like you can even do canvas. I'm not sure how much is canvas batch, but I think it's close to about $100 or 100 plus. For all in everything. Very beautiful game with transparent sleeve. It's like beautiful artwork. It's actually a piece of art in itself, and that's how you can better spend $100. I mean, for example. So in conclusion, actually, is like, this is basically just to tell you that there's a lot of other things you can do with like $100, and then rather than back a card game, and it's like even if you take shipping out of the question, that's still like a lot of money for a card game. And I think there are some things that I went through, like shipping, new company, and I'm sure there's better games that's coming out that is probably going to be, you're probably going to spend money on. Why not save it on it? And Christmas is coming. It's like there's a lot of other things you can do with your money, but just don't spend $100 on a card game, because it's very expensive. Okay, so thanks for watching, and if you like my video, can you just click like the like and subscribe to help my video. And I hope this has given you some insight into what I think about the game. It might be shallow, I might be wrong, but you can take what I say into consideration. And if it still doesn't change your mind, go ahead and back it. It's okay, I could be wrong, but I'm just thinking in terms of spending your money wisely. That could be a lot of things you could do with $100. And that's my advice. So if there's nothing else to take away from this, at least think about $100 and think about a card game. Think about what else you could get instead for spending this instead of a Spire. So in short, my advice is don't back it. Thanks for watching. I hope we will see you in another video soon again.